Apparently this predicts how your Valentine's Day will go.
Hey, what's some childhood advice you wish you would have remembered? For me, it was back in 7th grade when I was having a real tough time dealing with bullies and shit. One day I came home from class, just tears streaming down my face. My pop was shaking his head and he pulled me aside and said, "Never trust a dude with a ponytail beard." I was like, huh? How's that going to help me with anything? Fast forward some decades and I'm out for a walk and a dude with a ponytail beard comes up to me and says, "Have you ever had a Malaysian giant cricket on your face?" I was like, what? No. He reaches into his duffel bag and pulls this thing out and puts it on my face. And don't get it twisted, I wasn't afraid, but it weighed like half a pound and I could feel it tugging on my cheek skin, homie. And I wasn't happy and the cricket definitely wasn't happy. I just looked over at Ponytail Beard grinning and all I could think, homie, was, damn, my pop was right. Hey fellas, Valentine's Day is coming up, but Valentine's Day candy is way too expensive, which is why we gonna make our own. So for this one, we gonna be using leftover candy canes from Christmas, and all you need is the canes, something to hit them with, and a hard thing to hit them against. And for me, I like to use the ground, and I'll keep them in the plastic to keep the pieces from flying all over the place. Great. Now it's time to heat them up and make them all melty. After that, you want to make a mold. For me, I find that using old toilet paper rolls works great, and you just cut a piece off and make it the shape of a heart. Then you just pour it in before the canes get all solid again. And just like that, you got a beautiful heart candy, perfect for Valentine's Day. Delicious. Hell yeah. Hey, so I've been hearing a lot of young dudes just talking about struggling with loneliness and how hard it is to make friends, and I'll get it, homie. Like, I've been there so many times I can't even count. And so, I mean, straight up though, it's fucking bullshit the way our society punishes dudes for opening up with their emotions and punishes dudes just for wanting to like make friends. Like, yeah, it's getting better, but it still sucks. So let me tell you something right now, homie. You want to beat that loneliness? You got to be the one to take that first step. You got to be the one to send a text. You got to be the one to be like, hey, let's hang out. It's been a while. Let's do a video chat, whatever it takes. And here's the hard part, dog. Be prepared for pushback. Be prepared for people to just ignore you or even straight up laugh in your face. But you can't blame them, dog, because we all been conditioned that as men, we ain't supposed to do that. So you gotta be the one to take that first step. Be prepared for it not to work and keep on pushing through. And that is gonna be the cure for loneliness. You feel me? I'm trying to disrespect Lil Uzi Vert, but he paid $24 million to put a gem in the middle of his forehead. I found this shit in the crack of my couch. I didn't pay a dime.
Does this guy ever say the wrong answer?
The wrong answer?
Aren't you that guy that didn't go to Indiana but to India with the cows in the background?
Nah, homie, that ain't me. Hey, what's the thing that made you smile the biggest in life? I'll go first. For me, it was when I got done being a fry cook for Metallica and we got done with the tour. And so I went back to my regular day job as a fry cook at this Jack in the Box in West LA. And so it's like a regular Tuesday and this big old beefy dude was asking for me. He's like, "Hey, are you the dude making the fries around here?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "The big man wants to see you." I was like, "The big man? Like, God?" Like, what is it? I don't know what that means, homie. He's like, "Just come over to the side hallway." So I throw my apron down, I go to the side hallway, and who's standing there but the Terminator himself, dog? The Predator himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was like, "Are you the one making the fries?" I was like, "Hell yeah, homie." He's like, "Them's the crispiest shits I've ever had in my life." I was like, dog, I was beaming, smiling ear to ear. I was like a 14-year-old girl, dog, just resting my head on his shoulder like I was in love. Damn, homie, it's an exciting time to be alive. My feed's just blowing up all the news about the GameStop stonks and the rockets to the moons, and everybody's just making tons of money in a fight to just make millions of dollars. And I just got one question though, homie, like, how do I do any of it? Like, literally, like, I got like $11, and like, so how do I, like, you know, put that in the stonks? It was some satisfying low-key revenge you got. I'll go first. When the neighborhood kids was bullying my son and they had the nerve to come to my front door trick-or-treating for Halloween, I gave them caramel apples. Except it wasn't caramel apples. It was caramel onions. Have fun taking a bite out of that, you little shits. Oh, hell yeah, homie. I got a fun story about cockroaches. So back in the day in Florida, I worked at this Pizza Hut, and there was this mother-daughter duo that I worked with that we called the Lumpkins. So one day on my day off, the mom calls me up and she's like, hey, can you cover my shift tonight? I was like, come on, homie. I just got this new game. Can't your daughter do it? She's like, nah, I actually got to take her to urgent care. She got a really bad earache. I was like, fine. So I end up covering both of their shifts for the next 4 days straight. I was exhausted. Then on the 5th day, the mom comes in to pick up their paychecks. I was just like, hey, when y'all coming back to work? Y'all okay? Like, what's going on? She's like, well, I guess a cockroach laid an egg sac deep inside my daughter's ear canal, and it hatched, and the babies was all scrambling around in there and couldn't find their way out, and it got all infected. It's just a mess. So I guess it's not really a fun story. Hell yeah, I'm bisexual. I got no problem admitting that I'm bisex. From men.
What is something that you didn't know was expensive until you were an adult?
Giant angry tacos. So I've been stuck in India for like 2 weeks now. I ain't really showered or shaved. I have really shitted a lot. It's just been so peaceful, you know? And India's just teaching me so many important lessons. Last night, this little boy came up to me, like 3 years old, like the same age as my son. Just hand out, looking for money, whatever he could get. And I looked into his eyes and I could tell that India was teaching me a lesson right then, dog. I should be begging for money too. They love white people over here, dog. I could be making fucking bank. Hey, what's the best car you ever had? I'll go first. For me, it was my 92 Honda Accord. I was really big into Fast and Furious, so I had like the Honda decals and the official Honda seatbelt covers. But what really made it special was it was also my house. I was living out of my car at the time, and so my front seat was my kitchen, and so that's where I kept all my foods, like my low-fat granola and my powdered milk, and then of course, like in the back seat, I kept my clothes. But hey, just because I was living in my car didn't mean I wasn't still fucking. I'll just throw everything down on the floor if I had a lady come over, and of course I came prepared. I had 3 kinds of lube that I kept on hand in my trunk. So yeah, it was good times living out of my car, homie. Unfortunately, I ended up buying a beanbag at one point, and I could get it in, but I couldn't get it out. So I just ended up leaving the car on the side of the road. Homie, I messed up. I think I just been socially distancing for so long that I just forgot how like everything works, and like my brain just it just doesn't do shit right anymore. Cause I was talking to her, and she was just like, "Hey, you want to meet up?" And I was like, at first I was excited, but then I was just like, "Is it worth the risk? Like, what do you want to do?" And she was like, "Dessert." I was like, think about it. let me back up, dog. Like, I didn't figure out she said dessert until like just now, cause I guess dessert has two S's and desert has one S. Homie, I messed up. Hey, sometimes I just go into random live streams because someone needs to be asking the important questions.
Have you ever put your left eye makeup on your right eye by accident?
Hey, what the fuck is up with the English language, homie? Like, I struggle with words sometimes and sentences and phrases and shit. That shit's just difficult. And don't even get me started on paragraphs, dog. I ain't even trying to play that game. I was talking to this dude, Christian, and he wanted me to, I was trying to spell his name out, and he wanted me to make sure that I knew that there wasn't an H in his name. It was just C-R-I-S, whatever the rest of the letters were. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, why is that not normal? And normally it's spelled with an H, like, you know, like Christian, like religion. Like, it's not Christian. You don't say like, hey, Merry Christmas. What's the point of that H, homie? And I started thinking, like, it made me really fucking angry, dog. Like, English is really fucking complicated. Why are we making it even more complicated? Like, you could take like any word, like horse. What's that fucking E doing in there, dog? You don't need that E in there. H-O-R-S-E. You don't say the E. You don't pronounce the E. It ain't horse E. I mean, there is a horse E, but then you're adding another extra letter in there. Another insignificant letter that you don't even need. H-O-R-S-E-Y. It's reasons like that I don't even say words like horsey, dog. It's just frustrating as hell. And it's not like it's to make it different from another word that's spelled H-O-R-S. There ain't no fucking H-O-R-S. So why are we putting that extra E on there, homie? That E's got... Hey, what's the dumbest thing you ever did to get laid? I'll go first. So I met this sexy girl at the beach, and everything was going great at first. We really hit it off, but then she stretched out, and I noticed that she didn't shave her armpits. Well, she caught me staring, was like, is something wrong? I was like, why don't you shave your armpits? And she was like, why don't you shave your armpits? I was like, what? She's like, I'll make you a deal. If you shave your armpits, I'll go out with you. So I did, and everything was great for a minute, but when the hair started coming back, they came back all ingrown, and they got infected, and I ended up having to go to the hospital for a blood infection.
Be honest with me, what is the real reason why you're single right now?
Yeah, probably because I got a roommate that spends all their time in the shower.